Hey, you guys. Welcome back to another edition of Colorful Convo. I hope everybody's week is going well so far. Come on in the room, get comfortable, hit that like button on your way in, hit subscribe, check out the description. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everybody on the panel doing today?
Oh, child, I just slid in here on the end of my baby hair. I'm doing all right. How y'all doing?
Man, I wish I had baby hair so I could slide in on something. Men don't. You know what's funny is men lose all. When I was a child, I thought as a child, when we get older, we got to lose all that. Women be 92. My baby hair. So I'm glad you made it in on the baby hair. I came in on a grown man, sugar honey iced tea.
Shout out to the baby hairs.
All day. Polo's doing great.
Yeah, obviously, because
always.
Always.
Never. You know what? The only man. What do you get? The man who has everything. A colorful conversation, and here we are.
I thought you was gonna say a Polo.
How's our lovely host doing?
What you say, Mark?
How's the lovely host doing? The rest of us are messed up. Two of us are messed up. The rest of y'all is doing amazing.
I'm just, y'all know me, on the grind all the time. I have a lot of things in store for you guys. I can't wait to begin to share things with y'all. So that means y'all got to stay tuned because it's just so exciting what we have to offer. And it's just,
oh, wow.
It's just really amazing when you have a dream and you can watch it play out. Like you are actually accomplishing your goals. Like it's amazing to go from paper to actually seeing your goals being met. So
congratulations.
I can only imagine how Dr. Martin Luther King feels right now.
Oh,
boy, you come in on some
right. He just
I gotta adjust my hair for that.
Up top, girl.
Well, she said,
top.
You gotta figure like this. She said you can only imagine how it feels to see your dream. Martin Luther King Jr. dream is coming alive, but he not here to see it. So I can only imagine how he feel, like disappointed or gone too soon.
Okay.
Can we put the disclosure form? Can we put the disclosure up, please?
Go right ahead. I'm on my own purpose. There y'all go.
Each panelist
is entitled and responsible for their opinion only. Is that all right?
Only.
Well, if you watched last week's episode, you already know the topic. If you didn't, shame on you and go back
shame on you.
And watch it. Because today we're picking up right where we left off. The topic was and is fascism. So this is going to be a learning session for me. So I'm not going to say too much, but let's jump right on in there.
I would love for Mark to light the fire.
No, I lit the fire coming in the door. Y'all want the disclaimer. State y'all.
And that's what I want you to. No, because I need a refresher course.
This was my college subject, so I want to hear y'all research.
Which means you have the floor.
I know. And I
run
yield to the lady.
Run it, Mark. Run it.
Come on, sir.
Like you can't run with the floor. They trying to act like you can't run with the floor. Run with the floor, then, Mark.
Come on, man. You know what I'm feeling. I didn't do my research, and I needed a little more time to gather. I think we.
Okay, okay, I don't know where you got that from, but I just say run with it, man. This your
I
subject.
love Polo. Polo is a whole deflector. I love it.
I just say, run it.
I just
This your thing. This your
I
thing
think
right
we
here. So I'm
ended
just,
last
I
week.
like to piggyback and bounce off of stuff. You know what I mean?
I do know how that works.
Yeah.
I used to do that in school when my homework was due, and I piggyback off answers.
Oh, okay. Well, nah, we ain't gotta do all that, but let's
Um,
get to it.
I think we ended last week when we were talking about how fascism is is um the authoritarian leadership that we all had in our households. We like it when it comes to our families, but we dislike it when it comes to our government and things of that nature. And so I think we were trying to figure out or understand, have a better conversation of how fascism is bad and we need matrix or socialism or things of that nature. Marxist, not matrix, Marxist or socialism. Oh wow. Panel
And
Okay.
stuns.
so, oh no, not at all.
No.
And so,
I
okay,
think one of my
who?
questions last week that was kind of,
Hold on,
I'm trying
Polo.
to figure out what, since
Polo,
we know
Polo,
that.
Polo, Polo.
Pauline.
CJ was talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Brother
It's all
Trey,
right.
them
I
eyes to the
understand.
sky was like, yes.
No, it's okay.
My bad. My
N-
bad.
No, it's okay. I understand. I have the Android 500, so it's a delay when I speak. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Polo.
No. Ladies first. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I think I remember now the point I was going to make when you said that it's okay for us to do it in our house, but not the outside world or vice versa. So, and that it's a learned behavior, right? For instance, I only date dark skinned men because that's what my mama told me I'm supposed to date. Stuff like that. Am I'm like right? And then we took it a step further, and I'm following Jesus Christ because my mother told me I needed to follow Jesus Christ because somebody told her that she needed to follow Jesus Christ, but we never really found out why we're following Jesus Christ. Am I correct? Before I attack the subject.
That's well, fascism is more authoritarian in totality than a learned behavior. It is uh the rules basically. It's the rules of how the society runs with how it organized society to say, okay, we have a president. A president runs it. We in our churches, the pastor runs it. In our households, technically, the father runs it. And in more recent years, with single fathers leaving, the mothers run it. So I don't know if it's a learned behavior, but it's more of a socially systematic or structured behavior to where the authority is dominating.
Okay. It was a comment that you made though. That's why I wanted you to take the floor so I could respond. And I just can't think of it, but I hope that you say it again in a conversation. I'm gonna say that's it. So forgive me, y'all, if I do that, because
Oh no,
um,
that's fine. I
okay,
don't think it necessarily has to do with the learned behavior of a religion. That to me
okay,
is traditions passed down. When it comes to fascism, there you can go from freedom to fascism. Freedom is where so for example, a part of the freedom that we think we have is we are not allowed to disagree with taxes. We are not allowed to disagree with uh, the voter amendments or the gun laws. We're not allowed to do it. We have there's a difference between liberty and freedom. Liberty is the permissible or allowance thereof. Freedom is I can do what I want. You're not free to not pay your taxes because you disagree. There's a consequence. You have the liberty of delaying your taxes, but as if you ask a certain celebrity, you might get pent up for 3 years. So
Okay.
so and that's one of the things in your household. If you think about it, one of the things they say in government, if you don't like our rules, we can lock you up or you can leave the country. One of the
Mm.
things you said or heard growing up as parents, maybe, is if you don't like my rules, you can
Get out
get
my
out.
house.
That's
Yeah.
fascism, a way of organizing a society or little societies, which is ruled by the head of the society as a dictator. Like, and then your kids were, as kids, there was one phrase we couldn't challenge because I said so.
Mm.
So now would we look at kids and see they're entitled because they're asking that question, why? What is this? And we see them as entitled or unruly, but actually is really progressive. To get your kids involved in parenting is a progressive move. You ain't never been a parent. Your parents didn't ask you what you thought, how you felt about something. It was just how they felt, how they did. Da, 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 da. Every time company came over, you had to go over to your room. Now you feel like this company is better than you, or they have more power in the house than you. There's a time where fascism has taken us over. We have gone from freedom to fascism on the backs of capitalists. But that's a whole that's a that's a that's a whole uh show. We don't even That's not even an episode. That's a whole show based on fascism.
So, so can I pose this question? And I don't know if I'm gonna regret it, but this is coming from a woman who has raised a male, who has raised her male brothers. I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming from a place of from a male's point of view, because what I'm about to say is gonna piss the women off. So would it be that over the course of time, women have become that when it comes to dictating the fathers, when it comes to them seeing their children? Because I know a lot of good fathers that had to deal with a lot, especially in the 90s, which
Well,
has put a, yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
fascism, the so let's just take fascist control. Fascist control. There is a actual evidence that um, a single father raising his child gets nearly the same results as a two-parent household, while 70% of single mothers' children end up in prison. But in the fascism of the government, 90% of women are awarded custody of children. If 70% of the kids are going to prison, 90% of the women, 90% of those kids are being awarded by the government, then and the government makes in excess of $72 billion a year in prisons, then what the fascist system, the dictator says, let's make a systemic control where kids are funneled into prisons.
Mhm.
Now, if you take away all of the technical talk and you take away all of the white papers done on this subject, women as a whole, not individually, but women as a whole feel, oh, I'm the mother, and so systemically or emotionally, I want the kid, even though my kid is being targeted. I don't want the father to take the kid. The and so a lot of the system of fascism is a lot of uh guidance, or not guidance, but I want to say traditions or leaderships or entitlements or triggers that help it stay in control. If you I'll say it this way, if you want to stay in control of the car keys when your kid gets older, you don't give your kid the freedom to just drive. Okay,
Or
hey, if
guess
you
what?
don't,
You could be like me and don't teach them how to drive at all. So I've never had that issue.
Right. So that's one way. But that's one way. Think about it. That's one way to keep people in control by not teaching them how to use money. So our education schools don't teach credit. They don't teach balance. They don't teach investment. They don't teach tax laws and stuff like that. One way
Right.
is to not teach them. The other way to do is to
Right.
restrict privileges after giving it to them. You go out there, and if you don't do what we say, we gonna lock you up. We gonna take away your house. We'll put you in jail. We'll take your driver's license. We'll do. So a lot of it is it's guided compliance, but under dictation, it's more forced guidance compliance. In Michigan, if you don't pay your child support, they will suspend your license.
Everywhere.
Well, some states don't do it, but I'm saying, and just
Oh,
think, I'm just
Ohio
using
do.
that one. Right, Midwestern states. I'm gonna suspend the license you need to go and make money.
Mm-hmm.
So a
That's a
lot of
point.
women.
So
The other thing is, you get so behind on child support, it's a felony. So now, over simple child support, you cannot vote. But I did a whole podcast on the whole system. Child support ain't what we think it is. Child support
hold
is
on,
a way. Go ahead, Polo.
hold on. I just want us to. I have a question because I know last week I was asked it. Okay, with us knowing what the definition of this word is, what what are we actually doing? What can you suggest that we do about it, or that we? I mean, we voted last time who's for it and who's against it. And I think part of the reason why we was having a part two is because we were trying to figure out where we were going with the definition of the word as far as do we ride with it or do we ride against it? I think last week you were the only person that said they're riding against it. Am I correct?
And that's so the problem is, to ride against this, you either take up Marxist, you take up socialism, you take up individualism. You have to take up. So I think where we got off last week is that it was structural, and everybody wants structure. The problem is, the structure that we have is not a structure that benefits us. So I'm not for fascism. I'm for socialism. I'm for Marxism, but I'm not for fascism, because what it does, it gives power to those who have access to power. It gives power to those who have the ability to. If right now you invent something tomorrow, that converts air
Yes.
something that into gas. If you find something tomorrow that invents air to gas, and you keep it low until you are a billionaire, now because you're in the club, you have certain freedoms or certain things where you can start to dictate control. If you think about this, 21 years ago, social media was just a way to connect, like LinkedIn. Now social media can ban you. They can restrict you. They tell governments. They literally are a change. That's fascism. We went from freedom to say what we want to now, when you get on the internet, you gotta mind your words. We are right
Well,
now, we have two parts because of fascism.
I think we have to live in reality as well. As far as even our wants of what we think a perfect society should be. And when I say that is because every, I mean, you had to have some kind of authority or some kind of, uh, I would say, structure to be able to keep a system going. Am I
Do
correct?
you? Do you? I'm
I
gonna
think
I'm gonna
so.
take the fictitious.
In my personal opinion, I think so.
Okay, then I'm gonna take a fictitious sentiment from the city of Wakanda. They don't have a government. They don't have Their structure is that the people
That's your
decide.
interpretation of that, because an interpretation is if they the way that you look at it, you can look at them as a government.
Oh, right. What I'm saying is, they don't go around. If you heard them when they were like health, when the first Wakanda, when the Black Panther is talking about the different things, he's like, we don't have that. We don't have. What is that? Because the citizens are free enough to govern themselves. The problem is
But so how do you with that being a citizens be able to free themselves? So how do you determine the right from wrong,
the problem is this, and this
and
is
the people that want to abuse the right and wrong?
the
You have to
problem
rule
is
with some kind of authority, right?
no, that's the thing. Because we restrict so many people, that's where it comes from.
So it's like the Wild Wild West, right?
No, that's not what I'm saying. It's the opposite. If you didn't have to steal for food, if you didn't have to rob to get a job, if you didn't have to worry about so many things that the government places on you, it would be less crime. Here's an off-topic thing I'll try to correlate.
But see, that's what I'm saying. I think we are getting away from with all these different examples and not sticking on the actual. Like we're
You're
getting
not.
so far into the examples that we're not sticking to the definition and the word and what we actually are
We
wanting to
are.
do with this.
The thing is, what I'm saying is I'm trying to bring understanding by bringing examples. I'm not getting away from it. What I'm saying is there's a poem that says, in a relationship, if you hold it real sand, a relationship is like sand in the palm of your hand. If you hold it tight, you start to lose the grain of sand. But if you leave it open and loose, then the grains of sand remain intact. The problem is our government tries to rule us with an iron fist via fascism. You squeezing the life out of people. I know this is a part of fascism that we don't understand. You are taxed on your income, you are taxed on your food. You are then turned around and taxed on your property. And then you are taxed on the income that you made. That's 4 taxes that on the same money. Not on no new money. You got your check, they took out taxes. You go to the store, they ask you for taxes. Because you go back home, they ask you for taxes. And at the end of the year, they say, hey, tell us if we taxed you enough. That's fascism.
I get what you're saying. We all know the problems of the system, of what the system has. I get it. We all know the problems. But what I'm saying is, what is the solution that we're offering, or the talk that we can give the people?
Socialism.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna start to get you more into, because we have to get people like we get past that. We have to get them a solution or something that they can look forward to, than wanting to have conversation about it.
Bernie Sanders. The problem is here's the problem. The solution is not being selfish anymore. A part of the problem continuing is that we continue when we hear people on Section 8. We all should be on Section 8. The food stamps, they getting money for food. Food should be affordable to everybody, so you shouldn't even have to get stamps. Healthcare should be affordable. The problem is that there is a solution. We don't want to choose it because we don't understand what fascism is. Therefore, we can't understand what socialism is. Because when people were trying to be socialists, the reason why they killed or unalived Huey P. is because of socialism. The reason why they unalived Martin Luther King and Malcolm, because they started to understand socialism. The reason why China is the #1 country is because they operate under capitalist socialism. So that there is an answer. We as Americans we're not being educated on the problem enough to understand that the solution is to be together. Think about it, and I'll give you 2 things. The Asian community in America is tribal, while the Black community is no longer tribal. What I mean by tribal is, if you come over here from Asia, a country in Asia, they usually stick together. They help you get a business. They put you on. You got to do this. But you live in community housing. You do stuff with the community until you can get free. And ours, I got it. I got mine. You got to get yours. Is the whole mentality. So what we're doing is we're forcing people to submit to fascism while they're rising above because they operate in a communal or social structure.
I want to stop us right there because I want to dissect that, and I want to compare socialism to fascism over on Patreon so we can really break it down and we can really have a free conversation, because this is one of those conversations where I feel like it's very important, but it's only important if you understand it. And to
Right.
understand it, I feel that we need to speak freely. Mark, I think that you have really articulated very well today, and I want to dig into that. And like Polo suggested, the solutions. So we know that within these solutions and these definitions and this information, that this not YouTube friendly, because this is what revolutions begin with. This right here. So we want to really expound on this because we're in a time of our people. We need change. So in order to change, we need to know how we're going to do it. So meet us over on Patreon. You guys, we're going over there. The link is in the description. Please make sure that you follow everyone on my panel. They have amazing content to offer. And we'll see you guys across the street when we let our hair down. There's no filter over there. And we're going to really get into some things because I think this is a very, very interesting topic. And it's very imperative, actually, when we look at around and see what's going on in our government, in our homes, in our schools, and in our streets. So we'll see y'all over there.